right, just gonna make this short and sweet. Tomorrow we have nothing. Oh, so probably won't be trading tomorrow. We'll see. Um, yeah, because there's no catalyst. Let me change the filters on my news real quick. Cool. So we do have some smaller folder news tomorrow afternoon. The FOMC members speaking. Every time I live stream, I start yawning. I don't know what the deal with that is. Maybe it's me talking, and I can't breathe through my nose. All right. So here's what's going on. We got some 4-hour displacement here. We got some daily displacement. Continuing up on the NASDAQ. Same thing on ES with a little gap up already. And same thing on YM. RTY did get finally a displacement. Obviously, we'll see how tomorrow goes though. Game plan has now changed a little bit because we've taken out this high today. That's what we were looking for. So I ended up getting long as we respected that 4-hour fair value gap on the YM. Just a quick little trade review. YM's been the strongest out of all the pairs or indices. We had this 4-hour market structure shift displacement with the fair value gap that came down and was filled overnight in London. Yeah. So that lined up with this previous true day open and this order block and the midline CE of the fair value gap. So pretty high probability there. And obviously not up at London. And before the news driver, typical news driver, we came down and just respected the order block there, then continued away, and then market opened. We pushed pretty sharply higher, creating a nice displacement on the 5-minute. We started to pull back and hopped on the 1-minute. Super clean order block here. So I was a little late. I was a little late in catching the move because I wasn't actually expecting for something to set up for me today. But everything was respecting price action pretty clearly, and then wasn't expecting us to, pull back like this, but we did. And so I hurried and opened up my charts and got filled in here because I was on the 15-second chart. This is my first tiny little nuance improvement. I was on the 15-second chart here and saw we were displacing away. I was hoping we'd get a pullback, which we did. So what I did was I saw this little displacement here, and then I started entering into the pullback, which ended up coming deeper. And so I added in more size, luckily. But the issue with that was there was no reason to be using the 15-second chart. I just hopped in on it to see what was really happening on a quicker, more detailed view. And on the 1-minute, there was no like shift out of there by any means, and could have just waited for another tap of the order block, which would have given me a lot better risk reward. And yeah, so anyways, I took profits above this high into this consolidation here, but I knew we would probably head higher but it being August and me coming off of a little bit of a tilted losing streak, I just needed to lock in the gains, which I did. Luckily, perfectly timed, and we came all the way back. This isn't my normal type of setup here, especially after a big knife down like that. Even though, oh, and we have like relative equal lows now being created here, so wasn't like this isn't something I would trade, even though I knew we'd probably had higher. So yeah, um, great trade, took profits like I should have. August, emotionally, um, that was the area. In many cases, I usually will hold through this type of stuff though. Um, I'll exit 80% here at this high, and then I would have had my stop, since I took profits, I would have had my stop here at the low, um, close to break even. And then eventually, yeah, I would have hit my full PT. So, um, yeah, that would have been realistically the way I would have traded it. On this trade, I was moving my stop once we got into this candle. When we broke the high, I did move my stop. And then that's when I was like, you know what? I just need to get out because I don't like the way that this is. Uh, um, I don't like August. Is basically it. So, all right. Anyways, that was the trade I took. Just a quick little recap. Yeah, now we've gapped up. We do have a little gap here. I can't remember what this was. Yeah, there is a little bit of a gap down here on YM. I'm curious to figure out where we will end up delivering to. First off, let's look at the price action that unfolded the rest of the day because I didn't really look at that. Too focused on the trade. Yeah, we displaced out of here on the 4 hour. Not really. Failing to displace, but on the daily we did. So, all good. Now we're just holding, bumping up against this wick. That was just the level that I would have ideally taken full profits at, which it completely perfectly nailed and respected the closure of this inefficiency. So now the question is, where will we possibly get a pullback? I am expecting a pullback. Um, doesn't need to happen exactly right now, but we did take out this high. We did manufacture liquidity. Like we should have. Nothing to note there. We're gonna have to zoom out. Okay, yeah, so the next PD array on NASDAQ is gonna be that weekly fair value gap. We also have the open on that last new week opening gap. Did that just disappear? What the? Right at the 20K, so weird. Oh, it's good. Okay, yeah, probably just changes. Yeah, there wasn't a new week opening gap. There is a monthly opening gap though. That's interesting. We definitely need to mark that out. Wait, that even right? I don't know. Yeah, it's just the difference between these two candles in the opening and the close. So we'll leave that there. Color it like a dark, like bright pink. Okay, cool. Yeah, there's the new month opening gap. Wow, look how price really respects that. That's crazy. Um, so yeah, I would maybe expect us to come and sweep that, just because we are at a. I mean, we do have this gap down here that needs to be filled on NASDAQ, so that's definitely an area of interest. We've taken out buy side liquidity. We're entering into a gap right into the new month opening gap. So maybe that's what we do is we just come and sweep that a little bit. So we're really close to a level that seems likely. Let's look at ES and look at that new month opening gap as well. Doesn't have it. I'll probably refer back to it down here though. Yeah. That. We've had that. Didn't need it, but clearly respecting it on like a candle closures. No big. So yeah, looks like we have, what is this here? That is labeled. Should be labeled. Oh, guess I didn't label it. Daily FEG. Cool. We got a little inversion fair value gap. Oh yeah, that's why it's red. I should have known that. And this is right at this next swing high. We've totally wrecked this one. And now we're back up into these little support, retail support resistance levels. So it makes sense for us to come and sweep this a bit. Maybe we'll tee off of this order block sell off. Otherwise, nothing on the weekly. There's a huge new week opening gap up there. Mixed with the daily. So yeah, we could come all the way up there. So what we'll be looking for is some sort of, because obviously, I mean, we are bullish, but I don't think we're just gonna head up. I mean, there's no reason not to. We'll have to see how tomorrow's candle closes, because I want to see if this daily gap gets filled or not. Everything has one. They've all displaced. YM definitely the strongest. So yeah, if I was to trade long something, I would still want to play Dow. But we're getting to the point where we've taken out some serious levels and only on today's candle. So we'll look at the 4 hour and see what happens with these 4 hour candles at these highs. So yeah, I think tomorrow we'll get more of an answer for what's happening. Dollar digging deeper now into that gap, and sweet, looks really good. Um, are we going to reverse here or not? We'll see. It could dig pretty deep here, maybe even down to here. JPY, I don't really care too much. Oh yeah, so I'm really keeping my eye on Ethereum now and Bitcoin. I think we did get an SMT here, so I was thinking a buy in here might have been the play, at least on Bitcoin. But we do have relative equal lows here with my little textbook pattern. So yeah, we'll see if we come back up here, check out these relative equal highs, and then come lower again or whatever. And maybe that'll offer us a trade. If not, no worries. XRP starting to shoot back up. Um, Not much to say there. Needs to do something. On the index charts, looks like they didn't get rid of that weird after hours move. Yeah, SPY's up, back all the way up near the highs. Got a little gap up here. Maybe that's where we're headed. Maybe even to all-time highs. NASDAQ way behind with a gap up here. Looks like we're hitting an order block right now, but we would expect us to trade above that. I think this gap's going to be a little bit of a resistance area. Dow Jones looks like it's just going to make new all-time highs. Doesn't give two Fs. And yeah, Russell way below. So maybe what's going to happen here is we'll scoop these relative equal highs tomorrow, Wednesday. We'll get our reversal here in the Russell and then slowly make our way back up in the next few weeks. So, otherwise, if this continues up in another daily candle, like another big full-bodied candle, I would be pretty confident that this is just the play for longs. But until this is mitigated, then yeah, we're kind of waiting to see. We need more information. So yep, I'll be waiting for the daily candle and see how we work. Um, Luckily I have a little daily candle thing. So cool. That is the analysis for the end of the day. Yeah, I learned a lot today, focused on um, figuring out some stuff with the net premiums and using the flows, um, how to do more diligence with seeing what's really happening when I'm looking at the flow charts. For example, in today's flow, I've also just been messing around with customizing the flows. So, anywho, we go to, this is just this week's flow. As you can see, we did have decently high premiums in the puts versus the overall. We can just get rid of these filters, honestly. Okay. So yeah, obviously market tide followed price pretty well, and we have got declining puts, so nothing to see there. But in the net flows, we have declining puts, which makes sense. But then at end of day, we had puts rallying, um, and the entire day ever since we made that new initial high, we've been steadily declining calls until the end of the day. They looks like they re-entered those calls. So if we go here, which is the same chart, this is what I basically learned today or was studying, figure out how to do more diligence with. So let's look at, so what I was doing was looking at the highest impact strikes or the top chains, but only the ones that were like near enough to make sense. So all this is October, September, leaps. Yeah, obviously these are all too far out, September. And so what I saw here is, okay, we have two this week, both calls. So we'll take a look at that. I just open it. Does it say 8/19? Oh, well, that's Wednesday. We'll just click on that. So this is what I learned. I didn't know that you could do that, or that it was that easy. So here we can see, if we look at the flows, um, declining calls all day until the close. So that's going to be the significant look for the calls. Oops, is that the wrong one? Okay. It looks like we had a lot of bids here, and then for the calls. So, and then we had a lot of green volume here. So let's look what happened. So yeah, nothing super directional. All of it is pretty spread out. Yeah, nothing there to really note. And then if we look here, nothing there to note either. So that was for this Friday, right? 19th. Okay, yeah, so these were 0 days to expiration call. Oh, what the? Should have. I don't know why I did that. But anyways, so I didn't even realize I was looking at 0 day. Stupid. And now we go to this contract. So it looks like they yeah, they just had these right at the open and no new truth. So these are all for this Friday. Um, Nothing still to note. Yeah, all are just, we need a new more. Yeah, there's just nothing super directional. It's, so that doesn't help us either. All right, let's try that again. So maybe we do need to look at what. Hmm. Everything is for September, and so maybe I should be using this. So yeah, there's nothing here super clear. Okay, anyways, that's what I was learning today.